everyone, and welcome to the Chef's Table series. My name is Carol O'Connor, co-host of this instructional cooking show. Today, we took the show on the road, and we are here at King's in Burlington, located at 52 2nd Avenue. And today, Joe Murphy, my co-host, we are featuring Chef Andre Bautista. He is the executive chef of all the Kings in Massachusetts. Today, he will be making 3 gourmet pizzas, as well as their famous chicken wings, which they have been awarded King of the Wings in the last 2 years. So I thought there was going to be chocolate cake.
Carol, I want you to go home without dessert.
Oh, do you have a fork?
Of course.
Because I can eat it now.
Of course you can.
Tell me, what type of cake is it? I know it's all chocolate.
Well, it's a triple chocolate cake.
Yep.
It's a layer of chocolate cake, a layer of chocolate mousse, finish it with white chocolate, hazelnuts, creamy glaze, and chocolate chips.
Oh my God. Okay, you and I have to run with it because Joe is coming up right now with the fork. He's going to eat it.
Here we go.
And you know what? Let's try this pink drink. Tell me what this is.
That's the strawberry pop rock martini.
Like Pop Rocks I used to eat when I was like maybe 7?
Yep.
Is it going to pop in my mouth?
Yes.
Okay, let's try it out. Oh, it's popping in my mouth. I love it. Awesome. So everyone, this is Chef Andre, and we're going to bring up Chef Joe, my co-host, to learn how to make all these delicious dishes.
Hi, I'm Chef Joe Murphy. I'm co-host of the Chef's Table series. This show is produced by the Chef's Table Foundation, and our mission is to support homeless U.S. veterans and underprivileged homeless young adults 18 and younger. And what we're working towards is finding that group of population or people in that segment of the population that would like to get into the culinary arts. And we have an agreement with a Boston-based culinary school. So we want to try to help people help themselves. So we're very pleased today to be at King's in Burlington, Massachusetts, and a fellow that I did business with 5, 6 years ago when I owned a bakery. He was the chef at King's in Dedham location. Is that right?
Is that right? Yep.
Yeah. Well, today we have, who is not the chef of Dedham, he is the executive chef of all 7
Correct.
King's restaurants. And it's great to reunite with him because, you know, it's great when you see people work their way up in an organization. And I got to tell you, overseeing 7 high-velocity restaurants is a daunting task. Is that right, Chef?
It is a lot of work.
Okay, great. Well, this is Chef Andre Bautista, and a wonderful guy, a native of Brazil.
Correct.
But he's been here for 20 years, and you have a wife and 3 children here, right?
Right.
So he's going to stay with us for a while. And one of the things I'm guessing now, because King's has expanded, you're in Chicago, Florida,
North Carolina,
and the rumor control has it that there are more to come.
Yeah,
So,
we have probably, I think it's Tennessee. We have one more coming, Miami. So
wow,
yeah,
that's
it's
great,
keeping
Chef.
growing.
Great. Well, let's talk about your food, okay? I also, rumor control has it, King's is the King of Wings, which is an award you've received 2 years in a row, correct?
Yeah, we won the Kings of the Wings for 2 years in a row in the city of Boston.
In the city of Boston. Well, that's a great tribute. Everybody loves wings, but you do something a little different with your wings.
Right.
You make them French style, like a lollipop?
Yeah, we do a little bit different than a lot of people out there. We actually using the jumbo wings, not the little wings. So
Right.
it's a lot of more meaty. And then we call like a French wings, but it's actually over here we like to call like a lollipop wings, which is
Right.
like we cut the the bone. I mean, we cut the wings from the joint,
Right.
and we just pull the meat down, so it just
Yeah.
look like a little lollipop when you grab it.
Right.
You don't actually touch the
Right.
meat. You just grab it from the bone. It's like a clean clean
Right.
way to eat. So.
Yeah, let's talk about that because I'm sure our viewers, some of them would really enjoy doing this. So you cut the bone at the joint, right?
Yeah, actually, the way it works, we using the 3 parts of the wings. We use the tip, the flat, and the drum.
Yeah.
Okay, so the 2 joints, we just cut them right to the joint, and we only actually find the joint. The meat automatically just fall down.
Wow.
So you don't actually need to like scrape the bone down. It's just
right.
like a clean cut, a clean bone.
Right.
That we just.
Right.
It's a really fast and really easy way
Yeah,
to do it.
so Chef just gave you a great tip, all right? If you want to do a lollipop wing, which from eating wings, I know you can get pretty sticky hands.
Yeah.
What's great about what he just explained to you, and again, a great tip, if you take that and you cut that chicken wing at the joint, okay, there's a tendon there,
It's
right?
a tender that when you cut the tender, the meat automatically
It just,
falls down.
it
Yep.
falls right down. So you can see, you know, I thought they were using a paring knife. I was talking to Chef, and usually, you know, on something like this, you may use a paring knife and scrape, which is time-consuming, tedious.
Do that a lot with the lamb, rack of lamb, but no, we don't do with the wing.
Right, and the chicken, once you cut through that bone, it cuts the tendon, and you can just pull it right down.
Right.
So that's
It's a perfect wings for the bowling alley. So it's a clean way to eat the wings and
you can keep
and
bowling
keep
and
bowling.
have a drink along
There you
with
go.
it. Okay, great. Now, Chef, one thing I want to ask you, being the king of wings,
Yes.
okay, in Boston, when I first looked at, excuse my hands here, but I first saw them bring the tray out, I didn't know if that was blood,
No, that's
But-
actually the marinade.
a marinade.
Yeah, we actually marinate our wings 24 hours.
Okay.
It stays in the marinade for 24 hours, and after that, we just drain it, and we use it after that. So it's just basically like ginger, garlic, honey,
Nice.
Coke, a little
Coke?
bit, yeah, Coca-Cola, a
Wow.
little bit of soy,
Yeah.
and we leave it. Put the wings over there for 24 hours, and
Wow.
it's ready to go the next day.
Yeah, that's great. And you know, I'm not sure about what I'm going to say, but I think Coke can be used almost as a tenderizer. I don't know what.
Yeah, you're right.
It's not a pH like a lemon juice could use, for instance, like a ceviche.
Right.
You know, it actually cooks the product. But Coke, I know whatever the chemistry
and
is.
also with the sugar that actually helps caramelize the meat a little bit more. to the
Right. So
outside.
when this is finished, and at the end of the show, we will show you finished plate. I'm guessing with the sugar in the Coke, and you add sugar as well?
That we had honey.
You add honey, which is great, another great flavor. So Chef's actually giving you tips here. You know, you have the flavor of Coke, and I don't know anybody that doesn't love Coke. But then you have the flavor of the honey,
Right.
And what was the other
We
ingredient?
got garlic, we got a chili paste, we have ginger,
Ginger.
fresh ginger, fresh
right,
garlic.
Right. So with the ginger, you're getting somewhat of an Asian
Right.
blend there.
Right.
Ginger, garlic, and
Right.
that's a base product mixed in a lot of Asian cuisine. So I can't wait to try these after the show. And I wanted to show this to you because this technique is very easy. If you're having a house party, a cocktail party, it's very quick. Cut through the bone.
Cut through the joint, yep. The
And
meat
pull.
just falling down.
Excuse me. All right, so now we're going to go to the next thing we're going to show you today is pizza.
Correct.
And you surprised me earlier when we were talking about your toppings.
Right.
These pizzas do not have sauce.
Well, the pizzas that I'm gonna show you today, we don't have sauce. I mean, again, we try to be a little bit different than a lot of people out there, and a lot of people there just using tomato sauce for for pizzas, and we do have tomato sauce in some pizzas out there, but we do have different options that we can.
Okay.
In this case, we're gonna use seasoned oil.
Excellent. So Chef just mentioned seasoned oil. And because the show is designed to be instructional, and I talk about this on every show, in a professional kitchen, the French term is mise en place. That means everything in its place. And what we're talking about are all the ingredients you're going to be using.
Right.
So Chef has them all laid out. Now, if you're in a commercial kitchen, you're going to see larger pans. If they need to be cold ingredients, they're usually on a rolling rack sitting in a bucket of ice. But, you know, on dry herbs, obviously, you don't have to keep them cold. But you have one set of toppings for one of the pizzas,
This
right?
topping's gonna be for the goat cheese and asparagus pizza.
Okay, why don't you tell us on this pizza?
So it's gonna be the dough
Yeah.
with the seasoned oil, goat cheese,
Right?
grilled asparagus, sun-dried tomato, and a mozzarella cheese.
Okay, we're going to make 3 different pizzas with different toppings. There's not going to be any tomato sauce,
No,
which
nope.
is great. And I love to see this because we love to show creativity, which is part of a chef's personality. It's a passion. When they call culinary arts, it's an artistic form.
Right.
And I've got to tell you, having to do what he does is daunting, considering there are 7 restaurants and they're not just around metropolitan Boston.
Yep.
So, you know, I know chefs that have similar positions. They tell me they get up at 2 o'clock in the morning, they get all the figures from the restaurants, you know, and then they go back to bed. So it's just endless.
Right.
So anyways, having said that, here's the dough you make. They got a 10-inch circle, drew a ring, and then they did the 5-inch? 8-inch pizza, and drew a ring. So even for the home cook, if you like to make pizzas a couple of times a month, get yourself a peel. They're not that expensive. And get a 10-inch round disc. And then if you want to do a small one, for instance, even though they serve it for the kids, this is a 1-course serving for an adult. Have a nice salad, a cup of soup with that.
Correct. Yep.
So, okay, chef. So we have your dough. Now, just quickly, tell me about the other ingredients for...
Okay, for the next pizza, we're gonna do the mushroom pizza,
Sweet.
which is the sauté mixed mushroom, the wild mushroom, which we use in portobello and shiitake,
Oh, nice.
with garlic, some salt and pepper, and a little bit of crushed red pepper.
Yeah.
Caramelized onions, brie cheese, and again mozzarella cheese.
Great.
And we're gonna finish with the fresh arugula.
Oh, Carol will love that. You better make 2 pizzas
There
for
we go.
her, buddy, okay? All right, so the
And
third pizza...
The third pizza is gonna be our bacon ranch pizza, which we're gonna use some bacon fat on it though.
Oh,
So
fantastic.
that's the key on that pizza, with grilled chicken, bacon, and cheddar cheese.
Oh,
And after it's done, we're gonna finish with lettuce, tomatoes, red onions, and a ranch dressing on top.
and a ranch dressing. And while you were talking, before you said ranch, if I like something, I might use an expression, giddy up. I'll tell you, bacon fat, I'm sure a lot of people go, oh, Jill, it's not like you're eating this 7 days a week.
Right.
This is something you can have every month, or if you like this, couple of months, and you're not overdoing it with
Right.
the cholesterol, the fats, or whatever. But if you're a chubby chef like me, you don't worry about it.
Oh, it's a great flavor. I mean,
Yeah.
like you say, if you don't want to eat every day, but when you do, it's just like a different flavor. It brings to another level.
Right, right. Okay, so chef, why don't you show us, we're going to do 3 pizzas, so just bear with us. He's going to show you how to stretch out the dough,
Right.
okay? And we'll go from there.
Awesome.
All right, chef. You're going to need this
We're
flour,
gonna need the flour.
okay?
I
And
mean, again, at King's, we don't use the pin, which
Yeah.
is stretching by hands.
yeah,
Our dough we make with just like a 00 flour,
yeah,
which is it's a special flour for pizza, which is making the pizza really fluffy, just like a little pillow when you touch it,
Right,
just like your
right.
hands just
Yeah.
go right down.
okay.
We start from the middle,
Yeah.
going out.
Yeah, if you can see Chef's technique here, he said he's starting from the middle, and you'll watch this. He's going to do 2 more, and you can see how quickly that dough started stretching, which is great.
Right, and I mean, not the pizza that is gonna throw the dough all the way in the ceiling, but I can get the job done.
There you go.
There you go. That's the 10-inch.
Yeah.
And
Now, I moved that out of your way. What is this, Chef?
that's cornmeal.
Right, and cornmeal is used like bearings, okay? So that pizza is going to slide off that peel when you transfer it onto a pan or if you have a stone in the oven.
Right.
And that's really a great ingredient to have.
Right.
Okay, Chef.
So we're just gonna put the cornmeal on it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring your pizza dough back to the peel.
Right.
We're gonna drizzle the seasoned oil.
Right. Oop.
It's gonna be all over the dough.
Oh, boy. Now, what are you seasoning that oil with?
It's extra virgin olive oil with fresh herbs.
Oh, another great tip he just gave you. EVOO, extra virgin olive
Right.
oil. And I'm impressed. Most commercial restaurants, when you get into higher end restaurants, they'll be using EVOO. But it really adds to the flavor. So
Oh, yeah.
keep that in mind.
Oh, yeah.
And don't be afraid to get a good one. It's not like you're going to use 5 or 6 ounces on a pizza, okay?
Yeah, it's
Just
about like an
enough
ounce
to
to
give
cover
you,
the dough.
right, and flavor it. Okay.
So we're gonna start topping with the sun-dried tomato.
Right.
Our grilled asparagus.
Yeah.
We want to cover the whole dough, so every bite we have a little piece of everything.
Yeah.
Goat cheese.
Right. And as you're doing that, I'm looking at the dough. It's going to be a thin crust pizza.
A very thin crust pizza, yeah.
Right.
Very crunchy. Yep. And the mozzarella cheese.
Wow. Oh, it looks wonderful, Chef.
And that's ready to go to the oven.
Oh, fantastic.
After it's done, we drizzle with the balsamic glaze.
Excellent. Okay, what I want you to do is I want to talk just for a quick minute on the dough, okay? How do you know, if you decide to make your own dough, how do you know that that dough is going to be light and fluffy, okay? As you're mixing it, you start off at speed 1, or your first speed. Bring all that dough together, okay? Once it's together, there's a French term, it's called autolyse, which means it's like a timeout, really, okay? Let the dough rest, because that gluten now is starting to develop, and that's how you get that rubbery effect, okay? How do you know when the dough is done? If you just take your fingers and pull the dough gently, okay, and it's not breaking, that tells you that dough is, the gluten is developed, okay? And you can see I'm pulling on that, and it's terrific.
Yeah.
This dough is really a nice dough.
Well, we're using a special flour for the dough, which
Yeah.
we're using the 00 flour,
Right.
which was the best flour.
Right, which is
that you can use
great.
For
Okay.
doughs.
Okay, so there's pizza number 1. Okay, Chef, let's do pizza number 2.
Pizza number 2.
And again, keep an eye on his technique. Now he's using it's a Formica top. So if you had a granite top, a Formica top, anything with this type surface really works well for stretching out your pizza dough. So Chef,
So we're gonna need the other dough.
Right, can you get it? Okay,
it.
sorry.
So again, we're gonna knead the flour.
Right, okay. Now you notice Chef just dipped the whole ball of dough right into the pan. And now what he's doing is, if you notice the technique, he's stretching and turning the dough at the same time.
Right.
Okay? And
With the tip of your finger, so that's
right. Started in the middle and worked his fingers out towards the ends. And then when he gets to the point where it's almost there, you see what he's doing? Gently just spinning it on his knuckles.
Yep. And we're
Okay.
ready to go.
Sounds good.
Again, we're gonna add in the cornmeal to the peel,
Right?
dough,
Great.
and the next pizza is gonna be seasoned oil.
Okay, your seasoned oil.
Again, all over the dough.
Yeah. Excellent.
Our marshmallow mix
Right.
in every corner.
Yeah. So Chef had mentioned this on the first pizza. You want to try to get your ingredients so that once the pizza is finished, every piece you're going to get a bite
bite
or
of-
two of each ingredient.
Correct. Next thing is gonna be the caramelized onions.
Oh, I love caramelized onions.
Brie cheese.
Oh, brie. Wow. Great melting quality.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. I love
creamy.
it. It's my favorite cheese.
Yeah. I used to sell gourmet cheeses
Oh yeah?
years ago. Yeah, all imported stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great cheese. I love it.
Yeah.
It's those kind of cheese that or you love it or you hate it.
Yeah.
And the next thing is gonna be the mozzarella.
Right. You know, I'll just give you a little bit of something I have done on occasion. If you have a nice mozzarella like this and you're going to be cooking multiple pizzas, get a can of Parmesan, okay? It doesn't have to be the most expensive. You could get a can off the shelf and just, you know, put some on your mozzarella and just move it around. It makes it a little bit easier to work with, and also will give you, again, another flavor, level of flavor.
We do that in some pizzas that we have, like the mozzarella pizza. We actually add in the Romano cheese into
Oh,
it.
Romanos,
Yep.
very good. And I'm going to give you a little inside story real quick. As Chef was putting this on this peel that has the 10-inch and the 5-inch ring,
Right.
what's great about it, on occasion, the co-host, Carol O'Connor, will stop by. If she'll say, "What are you doing?" I say, "Oh, I'm making 10-inch pizzas." "Oh, gee, do you have an extra one?" "Sure, Carol, come on over." One time, I didn't use my ring, and my pizza was a little bit bigger than hers.
Right.
She was furious, okay? So if you have people that don't want to get the small pizza, use the ring.
Well, yeah, it's good for consistency. When we have like a larger company, when you go to like 7 restaurants and like restaurants outside of Mass, that you know, like it's hard to actually see what's going on every day over there. For consistency, you want to do that, so it's everybody in the same.
Right. And Chef just gave you a great tip, and I'm going to tell you what it is. There's one thing about food: consistent, seamless, and redo to the same level each time.
Correct.
And that works for you, the home chef, as well. So as you're developing your cooking skills, keep a notepad. What tasted good, what didn't, because Chef and I were talking earlier in the show, this is a creative process, and that's why they call it culinary arts. So just keep that in mind, okay? It's about what you like. All right. So
Now we're gonna slide that pizza to
yeah,
the.
and we didn't show this on the first pizza, and I said to Chef, just so you get an idea, if you're gonna cook 4 of these, okay, it's good to have a round pan like this, all right? Now, he's gonna show you how he's gonna transfer that, and the idea about the cornmeal being like a bearing, okay, that the pizza will slide off with that under it. That's the reason they're using it, and you'll see
And
it
the
right
other
here.
reason you're using the pan when you have like large parties or large tables that they want the food all at the same time, the pizza all at the same time. So we stretch it, we prepped it, leave it on side. When everything's done, everything's go to the oven all at the same time, and
time.
everything will come out at the same time.
Consistent, which
Yep.
is great.
Yep.
Okay, so you can watch the chef take this pizza.
The cornmeal we're gonna slide over here, so it'll be easy
Oh, yeah, so he's using some more cornmeal because he's transferring.
to, right? And it's gonna go
Okay.
back to the.
Now, you see that, how great that came off that peel? I've done it, I have actually bread oven stones in
Right.
my oven, very, very expensive. And I'm sure most people aren't as nutsy about, as I could be about having different equipment, but being able to slide that off, that's great. I've done it on my breadstone in the oven. I've jammed it up. It's
It's the
curled,
worst thing,
stuffed.
yeah.
The cheese is
Yeah,
on there.
cheese.
So that's really a great tip.
That'll be pizza number 2.
Okay, that's great. All right, so for pizza number 3,
Pizza number 3,
you're going to need the flour,
we're gonna need the flour again.
okay? And again, this is the technique, so keep in mind, he's coating the flour, the dough with flour, all right? And watch the stretching technique. He's actually, starting in the middle, he's moving that dough around and pulling the dough gently.
One key about this dough and with this flour,
Yeah.
which is turning the dough very easy to work with,
Right.
is for you, before you use it, after you actually get the dough,
Yeah.
before you use it, you actually let it rest for like 5 to 10 minutes in a room temp.
Right,
So the dough is gonna raise, it rise, and it's gonna be easy for you to work with.
right, right. And a lot of times, if you're buying a ball of dough in the supermarket, which a lot of people do, they've got to understand that when that dough is thawed out, I generally put it in a metal bowl with flour, okay, and I coat it very well. Then I cover it with a plastic wrap. Dough, just your room air going over that dough will cause a skin. So you want to keep it covered, all right? But you've got to let that develop. You've got to let it proof.
Right.
And when you do that, just as Chef just gave you a tip, it's much easier to work
It's much
with.
easier to work with, yeah.
Okay, great.
We're gonna need the cornmeal again.
Okay, here are cornmeal, bearings, which is great.
Dough go to the pill.
Right.
Here we have our bacon fat,
Oh,
which is gonna be all over the dough.
that's the pizza I want to try.
Yeah, that's my favorite pizza.
Yeah, and I want the vegetarians that are here watching this show to have a taste. We'll bring them
They-
back to the real
Exactly, they
eating.
have to try. They
That's
have to
right.
try. All right, so grilled chicken, marinated grilled chicken.
Oh, sweet.
Dice it up in small pieces.
Right.
Diced bacon,
Oh, boy.
more bacon, right?
Oh, yeah. Why not? Now, what type of bacon do you use? Is it like an applewood?
It's
or
applewood. Yep.
Yeah, great. Great flavor.
And one more thing that we have at King's, not a lot of places out there have. We have a smoker in our kitchen.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we smoke our own meat. We smoke our pork.
Wow.
We smoke our ribs. Yep. And at the end, it's going to be a cheddar cheese.
And this is a cheddar cheese, which is great.
Yep.
Yeah.
So after this pizza's done, we're going to finish with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, red onions, and a ranch dressing.
Wow. So you have the onion, tomato, and fresh lettuce, and that goes on top.
After it's done. Yep.
It's like a BLT pizza.
It's like a BLT pizza, yeah. With the chicken on
Was this your idea?
it. Yeah.
Huh?
You like that?
I love it, buddy.
There you go.
I'll send Carol to your house because you get that beautiful 10-inch pizza, which
Oh,
she'll love. All right. So we have 3 pizzas.
Yep.
Okay.
Ready to
and
go to the oven.
We're going to show you one more time. Do you want to put some cornmeal
Yep.
on there? I'm sorry, Chef. And so you can see with that cornmeal on the peel how it just slid on there. Your pizza wasn't the shape of the pizza wasn't compromised as he moved it around. And if you're going to have, make 4 of these pizzas, which you should be able to get into a home oven.
Yep.
Okay. Get them all done and then cook them all at once.
Right.
All right. And if it's Carol, make sure hers comes out first.
There you go.
All righty.
With extra bacon.
Yes. I'd like to ask you a question, Chef. Is Carol moving towards me with a mean look in her eye because I've been picking on her? No?
No, she's fine.
Okay, great. Well, Chef, Now comes the climax.
Yep.
We're going to just cut for a minute. We're going to take these pizzas. We're going to watch you putting them in the oven.
Yep.
And one thing I didn't mention on your chicken wings, the King of Wings, the award-winning Kings won the King of Wings, getting my words mixed, the King of Wings award 2 years in a row. You bake these in the oven?
We bake it in the oven at 600 degrees, yep.
600 degrees?
Yes.
Wow. You don't stick your hand in there too far, do you?
We have to sometimes.
Oh, I know it, I know it. Okay, so we're going to meet you over. They have a beautiful, a very, very fancy oven here for making their pizzas and your wings and
Right.
things. So we're going to take a break and stick with us. We'll be back before you can say King of Wing.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, well, another great show. And again, we really want to thank King's. And if you were standing here, you would knock Chef Andre and poor Chef Joe Murphy just to get at this food. The aromas are fantastic. So what we wanted to do, it's not a pizza and wing restaurant per se, although these are featured items. So we did want to show this to you, and I've got to tell you, it just looks and the flavor. So what is this pizza? What's the name of that?
That one's the mushroom pizza, the wild mushroom pizza with the caramelized onions, mushrooms, brie cheese, and finish with arugula.
Sweet.
That one's gonna be the asparagus and goat cheese pizza with sun-dried tomatoes.
Oh, delicious.
And the drizzle with a balsamic glaze.
Oh, nice.
And the next one would be the bacon ranch pizza finished with the lettuce, tomatoes, and red onions and the ranch dressing.
Excellent.
And that's our famous baked honey garlic baked wings.
Excellent. Well, it looks fabulous. We got a tall beer with a nice
There you
head
go.
on it.
Yep.
And then we have the bubble.
Rock martini.
Right, okay. So there you have it, folks. It looks and smells delicious. Well, Chef, on behalf of the Chef Table series and the Chef Table Foundation, we really want to thank you, particularly somebody like yourself that's traveling all the time, and,
Right.
and the King's group that are willing to help support the Chef's Table Foundation. And it's been a great show. If you want to attend a show, we love to have people come and watch. You can find information on the Chef's Table Series.tv website. But even more importantly, if you want to rewatch the show, you can go to that same website. You can get the recipe and rewatch the show and cook with Chef Andre. And again, that's the Chef's Table Series.tv. And we're also on YouTube now. So we really appreciate your support by watching the show. And on a weekly basis, if this show is being aired in your town, you can go to the Wicked local newspaper in that town. You can get an update of when what show is airing the following week with the chef and restaurant. And again, we love the King of Wings.
There you go. Thank you very much.
Okay, Chef, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Chef's Table Series wine pairing segment. I am here with Ciro Pirone, our Italian wine specialist, and he chose a wine to pair with Chef Andre Bautista. He is the executive chef of King's in many locations throughout Massachusetts. A wine to go with his gourmet pizzas. So Ciro, thank you again for being on the segment with me.
Thank you for having me.
I love the design and color of the bottle. So what type of wine did you choose?
Yeah, so I decided to go something, maybe a little more atypical, but definitely one of the most popular Italian wines nowadays in the marketplace
Yeah.
in general, which is called Prosecco.
Oh, I love Prosecco.
Yeah, Prosecco
Love
is
it.
something very fashionable at this time, but also people get very excited because it's bubbles, effervescent. So logically, you can find many Proseccos in the market.
There are many.
And I chose this one because it's from not only a Prosecco, but it's more specifically from the Valdobbiadene area. So when you
Okay.
look at the Prosecco as a wine, you can get many producers from a very large area production. But within that, there are two small villages, which are the historical villages of the Prosecco production. One of them is called Valdobbiadene, so very long name. The other one is called Conigliano. So what that implies is that these wines made in these two specific villages are DOCG status. As we
Which
said
is-
before, yes, it's a denominazione di origine controllata e garantita. Basically, the strictest rule of production means higher quality wine. Yes.
Love it.
And I thought this would be, just to mix up something different rather than red wine, which would be something you'd probably match up more with pizza. But pizza is something, for us in Italy, something very simple, something you enjoy every day with family, friends, by yourself, whatever the case might be. I think Prosecco could be something very intriguing
Wow.
to match up with the pizza.
Oh,
Yes.
perfect. All right, let's give it a try. I would never think to choose a Prosecco to go with pizza. I would think, like you said, a red wine or maybe a white wine. So I'm really excited to try this.
Yes, Prosecco, it's something that truly we see more as an aperitif wine, a simple wine to drink by itself,
Yep.
or maybe when you make a Bellini, Rossini, Mimosa, those mixed
yeah.
type of beverages.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Prosecco, it can be something that can be enjoyed all throughout the meal, because just like any other wine, there are totally different styles of Prosecco. You can just buy or drink the basic Prosecco DOC, which it's the simplest version. And then there is the next level, which would be the Valdobbiadene. First of all, this winery I decided to choose is called Villa Sandi,
Yes.
which is owned by the Moretti Polegato family, great family. They've been for 4 generations making Prosecco, so it's an artisanal producer of Prosecco. And they have a varied line of Prosecco that goes from the simplest for everyday consumption to the Prosecco more important like this, which means something, see, it says superiore on the label. Superiore means has a slightly higher degree of alcohol, which means come from grapes that were harvested a little later, so they have a little more sugar. And after the sugar is fermented, they give the wine a little more alcohol. So it's going to have a little more body, a little more intensity. And most importantly, Prosecco from Valdobbiadene are the Prosecco
Right.
that are, more important for food.
So with this type Prosecco, I'm assuming, do you still twirl it? Do you still
No,
sip it?
typically
Just leave
I
it
did
alone?
it just because it's a habit of swirling when you have white wine, red wine,
Yeah.
just to smell the aromas. But truthfully, first of all, with the sparkling wine, you would have the typical flute glass, which is the typical glass used for
Yes, you
champagne, or
do.
Prosecco, or Cava, or any sparkling wine. Second of all, you truly don't swirl because you want to make sure that the bubbles or the effervescence doesn't dissipate too quickly. You actually just approach it on the nose and just smell the aromas, which in a good Prosecco, first of all, the important thing to say about Prosecco is that Prosecco is not the name of the grape, but it's actually the name of an area, or actually nowadays a style of production. Just like, when you think about Champagne, Champagne is a region of France. And then the wine it's made with Chardonnay, Pinot Noir, Pinot Meunier. Those are the 3 grapes. If you think about Prosecco, it's the same idea. The name was born from a small town in Friuli called Prosecco. And then there is a style of winemaking, which means a second fermentation in a pretty lengthy process. And the wine, it's actually made with a grape called Glera, which is a
beautiful
local
name.
grape variety grown in the area. So when we smell Prosecco, first of all, we see the vibrancy of the color. So that's very important, the luminosity. So almost like the brightness, the light, and the
Yes.
color. It's
Yeah.
a very straw yellow, tinges of green, but that means a very, very young wine. And then give it a sniff, and you definitely can tell this is a wine that smells a lot like a yellow apple, green pear. So very, very,
It is.
fruit that is almost like on the maturing
Yeah.
level, but not yet.
And not strong. It's
No,
very
not very
soft.
strong. It's very, very sallow, exactly. White flowers, so very, very simple aromatics,
wow.
yes. But the best part about Prosecco, you see, it's on the palate, the
tasty.
vibrancy. So I think,
It's vibrant.
yeah, because the acidity, it's very high. Logically, the bubbles make the wine very exciting on the palate. And I think this is a wine that, because it's extra dry, so Prosecco, any sparkling wine, so when you look at Champagne, Cava from Spain, Prosecco from Italy, there can be many different styles, not only from where the place they come from, but also from the way they're made. Meaning that you can get the brut style,
Okay,
which
yeah,
is
I've
the
heard that.
driest version as
Yes.
far as Prosecco is concerned.
Yeah.
Then you can get the extra dry, which the words implies it should be drier, but it's actually slightly sweeter. Now that doesn't mean necessarily sweetness, but it means that originally the grapes had a little more sugar left over, so you're gonna have about 12, 13 grams of residual sugar. So what that does, you don't necessarily taste sweetness in the wine, but gives a little more roundness on the palate. So it allows you to be more of a Prosecco that you can drink with some pizza, you can drink some appetizers, you can drink maybe some white meats as
Right.
well, so definitely a variety of foods.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
I'm twirling it. That's I'm gonna have another sip. So excellent. Love it. So, Ciro, that was we never did Prosecco ever.
Yeah,
So I'm really excited to get all that information.
Yeah, Prosecco is a fantastic wine.
It is. I
People
love
it,
Prosecco.
yeah, more and more and more, and I think it's something definitely worth discovering different producers, but also different styles, and most importantly, when you look at the Valdobbiadene and Conegliano appellation, that's the highest quality Prosecco.
Wow, excellent.
Yes.
Well, Ciro, thank you so much.
Grazie.
Awesome. So everyone, this has been the wine pairing for Chef Andre Bautista's Gourmet Pizza of Kings. And Ciro Pirone did it again, a great wine, Prosecco. So, okay.
Salute.
Salute.
Hi folks, Steve LeCount, chef owner, Chiara Bistro, Westwood, with this week's Chef's Tip. This week I just wanted to talk about brining. Now brining is very popular around Thanksgiving time, where people always ask me, should I brine my turkey or not? I always say yes. It doesn't hurt the product, but it's also very popular year-round, where you can use it for pork ribs, pork loins, tenderloins. This particular brine I'm going to show you is very well suited for poultry and pork. Brining can actually never hurt a product. It is done for a couple of reasons. One is to add moisture to it, which it does do, but more importantly, it does add a flavor. So when brining turkey breasts here, I'm going to show you a simple 4-ingredient brine that can be used for turkey. It's also delicious with pork, pork loin or pork tenderloins. And then the question always is, how long should I brine the product? It really depends on the size of the product. If it's a whole turkey you're brining, and these are easily multiplied, these ingredients, then I would probably look at something about 18 hours to 24 hours. But something as simple as a pork tenderloin that's only maybe weighs a pound, 6 hours, 4 to 6 hours is sufficient for that. So the ingredients for the brine here, and these are just proportional. They're very easily multiplied. If you need to make more or less, you can either do the multiplication, cut it down, or add to it. So I'm going to start with a quart of chicken stock. And rather than using salt, now I know a lot of people use kosher salt in brines, and I've heard from people, one of my customers just told me, oh, I brined a turkey and it was extremely salty. Rather than salt, I like to use soy sauce because it will give you the sodium that's required in brining. But at the same time, this will help to add a nice rich brown color to the finished product. So I'm going to do 2 cups of soy sauce, 1 cup of a really good grade A maple syrup, and then a 1/2 cup of dark molasses, which is left out of room temp because you know the old cold molasses saying. Okay, and it's really that simple. So it's 4 ingredients. You're going to whisk that together, and you just pour this over your pork tenderloin, your pork ribs, whatever meat or poultry that you're trying to flavor, and it's that simple. Now this would do probably like 3 to 4 or 5 pounds of pork. If you were doing a whole turkey, you might want to double this recipe. And if you're doing just a couple of pork tenderloins, you might want to cut it in half. But none of the ingredients are too expensive. Brining is a very inexpensive way to add flavor. And hopefully you'll be trying that, and try it before you grill some items too. It really adds that extra dimension of flavor. Thanks for watching. That's this week's tip.
Hello everyone and welcome to the Chef's Table Series restaurant interview segment. My name is Carol O'Connor, co-host, and today we took a trip to Burlington, specifically to King's. And I must tell you, I've been to the King's in Dedham, King's in Boston, and this place is beautiful. So with me, I have Doug Warner. Doug, thank you so much. I've known
Thanks for
Doug
coming.
for 5 years. He's been very good with the community Kings has by participating in a lot of fundraisers that I've helped put together. So Doug, this place is unbelievable.
Pretty cool,
Yeah,
huh?
tell us about it. Tell me, it's beautiful.
Well, this place has been an evolution, obviously, for the King's brand. This is our 7th location.
Wow.
So the one you know in Dedham was our
Yep.
2nd. So we've come a long way in the last, 5-6 years. This was actually slated to be our 6th location, but we actually suffered a construction fire here. One day
that's
before,
right.
yeah, one day before we were scheduled to have our orientation for our new staff. So that completely set us back to square one, which was pretty tough for our team. As you can imagine, we had a lot of staff who were then out of work because they were planning to work for us. We were able to place them mostly at our sister brands and other King's locations. So we took care of that right away. And we got right back to work on the construction. And 8 months later, we opened King's Burlington at last. So
Wow.
it's been a long road, but we're really, really excited to be here. And obviously, the place is looking great.
It's absolutely beautiful, and we're covering it in the B-roll. But there's something different about that you offer here, besides the food, the bowling, but you offer something else as well.
Yeah, for the first time ever here, we actually opened a theater, a viewing theater, which has 42 seats. It's got a giant screen. I think
It
it's
does.
like 25 feet.
Humongous.
Yeah, huge screen. It's a multi-purpose theater. We intend to do a lot with it, from movie showings, obviously, sporting events. We're going to do comedy shows. We're going to do magicians, karaoke. Pretty much anything you can think of under the sun, we're going to do in that room. So
awesome.
we're really excited to have it there and to kind of experiment with it.
And people can rent it as well, right? Like corporate
Absolutely.
and stuff like that?
Yeah, it's totally integrated with our audio visual, so people can do their sales presentations and then roll right onto the lanes. Obviously, you could set up a whole day's worth of presentation stuff in there.
Wow, I know, it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So, this is like a great entertainment facility. You have the bowling, you have the great 80s music. I know you have other types of music, but I just love 80s
We love the
music.
nostalgia, we do.
But also you have food.
Yes.
So tell me about the food and how it's evolved, I'm sure, in the
Sure.
last
Yeah,
6 years.
food is something we're very, very proud of here at King's, and it's something, as the marketing guy, it's one of my biggest challenges is to get the word out that the food's really good. Because I think the perception with bowling alleys, fair or not fair, is sort of snack bar food.
Right, the
and
vending machines,
Vending machines,
yeah.
hot dogs on rollers,
Right.
that kind of thing. So we decided, we're going to take that up a few notches. And our chef, who you'll meet, Andre, does a wonderful job with the food. Everything is homemade from scratch.
Oh,
We get
wow.
fresh deliveries every day. We use local products wherever we can. And you'll see, prep chefs here as early as 5, 6 a.m., working on the
Wow.
food, where a lot of places they show up, right before opening, and, you receive a delivery and,
Right.
everything comes out of a bag. And that's just not the case here. And, there's nothing in our freezers except the ice cream. And I say that's because it tastes better.
Yeah.
But, the food is really something that we take a lot of pride in, and something that we encourage people to check out.
But what dishes? I mean, I know you have the burgers.
Yep.
We just filmed that mac and cheese
Oh, yeah. that's
burger.
good.
But what other types of dishes can people find here?
We do a little bit of everything.
You do?
It's sort of American food with a twist. Our appetizers are certainly very popular.
sure.
Our buffalo chicken wontons are incredibly popular. And that's, again, because they're homemade from scratch. They pull the chicken off the bone, they mix it in with our special mix, they pinch off all of the wontons themselves, and then we crisp them up to a golden
Oh,
brown.
I'll have to try that.
And even the ranch sauce that they're served with is made from scratch. So steak tips are certainly our most popular entree, and come in a really nice, sweet sort of marinade. And they're finished off on the grill, so they have a nice charred finish to them. Very, very delicious. Pizzas we're really proud of, and you'll get to see a few of those today.
Yep.
Made from the best ingredients you can get. And we have one of the hottest pizza ovens in the business, which gives you a really crisp crust,
Yes.
but keeps it light and fluffy on the inside, which is really nice.
And then you also won an award 2 years in a row for the chicken wings?
Chicken wings are a big hit here, and one of our
sure.
biggest sellers. We actually go through a process called Frenching the chicken wings, where we cut the tendon back and push the meat up the bone. So it's almost like a little meat
wow.
lollipop. which is
Oh,
really cool.
cute, yeah.
So you can kind of keep your hands clean as you're eating the chicken wings.
Then you can bowl
and then you can bowl, right?
hold your
Exactly.
glass.
Exactly.
nice
So it's not
cocktail.
like you're at a normal place where your face is covered in sauce.
Yeah.
I mean, you could take it there if you
Yeah,
want.
and a lot of people do, I'm sure.
Yeah.
It's all over, yeah.
But we did win the King of the Wing, which is a competition they
Wing,
do
wow.
downtown. 2 years in a row, we took home the top prize there, and we're really proud of that, obviously.
Doug,
and
that's awesome.
Chef's going to display those for you today as well.
Now, you said it's your 7th location, but you're also in other states,
Yes.
correct?
So after Dedham, we moved out to Chicago in a town called Rosemont,
Oh,
which
yeah, I've
is
heard of
about 5
Rosemont.
minutes from O'Hare.
Yep.
And it's going great out there. Then we were down to Orlando, the land of craziness. It's
Yeah.
really wild down there, but we're fitting in really well. We're next to the Orlando Eye, which is one of the country's biggest Ferris wheels, which is pretty cool. So that's an attraction right next to us. And then we went to Raleigh, North Carolina. So
Have you been, did you go down there?
yep, we went down
Oh,
there
my
to help
goodness.
open. It's beautiful down there.
sure.
It's nice in the winter months like right
Yes.
now to escape down there.
Yeah,
every now
definitely
and again.
escape
Yeah.
from Boston today. Yep.
Exactly. So yeah, we're opening up across the country. It's really exciting for all of us who started here in Boston and have sort of seen this little brand grow into
Yep.
something bigger.
I know, I
and be a
remember.
part of that. So
Oh, Doug, that's awesome news. And it's a great place to go instead of, you can eat, you can drink, you can bowl, and then you have the theater here in Burlington.
Sure.
Is that something you're going to have going forward?
that's
The
something
new-
we're kind of trying out here,
Trying
and
it
we're
out
going to see
first,
how
yeah.
it works. We've got some cool little plans for our next locations too. Some little bells and whistles that we're
Oh, you'll
excited
have to
about.
share
So
with us when you're ready.
yeah, once
That's
we're ready,
awesome.
we'll let you guys know about it.
Awesome, that's
Yeah.
great. So, Doug, thank you so much for telling us about the facility of King's. It's absolutely beautiful here.
Well, it's our pleasure to have you guys, and we've had a good relationship with you guys
Yeah.
for the 5 years we've been in Dedham, and
Yeah.
we're excited to bring you out to our new location and see what we're doing and how we're growing.
Awesome, thank you.
Thanks.
So everyone, this has been the restaurant interview segment of the Chef's Table series. My name is Carol O'Connor, co-host, and I'm here with Doug Warner. And we'll see you next week.
Here we have a bacon fat,
Oh,
which is gonna be all over the dough.
that's the pizza I want to try.
Yeah, that's my favorite pizza.
And I want the vegetarians that are here watching the show to have a taste. We'll bring them
They-
back to the real
Exactly, they
eating.
have to try. They have to
That's
try. All right, so grilled chicken, marinated grilled chicken.
Oh, sweet.
Dice it up in small pieces.
Right.
Diced bacon. More bacon, right?
Oh, yeah. Why not? Now, what type of bacon do you use? Is it like an applewood?
It's applewood. Yep.
Yeah. Great flavor.
And one more thing that we have at King's, not a lot of places out there have. We have a smoker in our kitchen.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, we smoke our own meat. We smoke our pork.
Wow.
We smoke our ribs. Yep. And at the end, it's gonna be a cheddar cheese.
And this is a cheddar cheese, which is great.
Yeah. So after this pizza's done, we're gonna finish with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, red onions, and a ranch dressing.
Wow. So you have the onion, tomato, and fresh lettuce, and that goes on the top.
The Chef's Table series is shooting on location in cities and towns across Massachusetts. If you would like to suggest your favorite restaurant or attend a live taping of the show, please visit thechefstableseries.tv.